Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Hararian Network, where we are connecting people through networking. And as you can tell for today's video, down below the title, what it says, it is going to catch a lot of people off guard and ruffle up some feathers. And what is that all about? Well, the truth about CompTIA certifications. And now, what I wanted to mention is for anybody that is trying to go into IT, trying to learn like what's the new thing, what's the next thing, what's the first thing I actually should go for so I can get my foot into the door, build my experience, get some work, right? And get some opportunities in my life with IT. And I fell into this trap myself when I first went into IT, changing from civil engineering to IT, right? And a lot of people have too, by the way. And what is that? Well, based on the IT community and what they said, and even other people I've reached out to, or advice that I've gotten from other people, even advice from teachers of mine, right? Was that when it's all said and done, they all said one thing: go for CompTIA. CompTIA is where you should start, since it's the basic foundational knowledge of IT. So you have your A plus. A plus has to do with more of like computers, hardware, software, operating system, things like that. You have your Network plus. Network plus has to deal with more of like the basic fundamentals of networking. And you have Security plus, which deals with the basic fundamentals of security. So you would think, okay, after I go for like these certifications, I should be able to get a great job, right? And I should be getting my foot in the door, excited about where I'm going to start. Well, the reality is that it's not the case. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me tell you like this. So, when it comes to those certifications, at the end of the day, when it comes to any CompTIA certifications, you have to keep in mind they are entry level certifications. So, what do you think that means if you get these certifications and you're trying to go for job opportunities and apply to jobs? What types of jobs will you get? Exactly. Entry level jobs. There you go. So, what types of jobs would be entry level jobs, for example? Let me name a few to keep in mind, right? So, you have like computer technician, you have help desk support or analyst, and you have like service desk support or analyst. These are examples of some of the jobs that you're going to get. And I'm not knocking anybody that's in these jobs right now or going through that or went through that or even started through that, right? But what I am trying to say is that there's always other ways of doing things. But aside from all that, basically these jobs they only pay about between $30,000 to $50,000. Well, over here in Canada, Canadian dollars. In America is probably about I believe 40 to 60,000. So something to keep in mind, right? And now the thing I was going to say is that these exams they're not cheap. They cost a lot. Like when I took it, A plus, two exams for it, it's about $650 approximately. Network Plus was around $340 approximately. And with Security Plus, I don't remember the exact number, but the range was around like 390 like to like 420, I believe. Something like that. So overall, I'm spending more than $1,000 or any other person you're spending more than $1,000 on these exams. And the outcome you get out of it, the investment, the return of investment, you can say, it's not worthy of it, right? Exactly. And now that we're talking about this, let me actually tell you my story of how I went through CompTIA and went through that route, and based off my experience as to why I'm telling you this for today's video. So, when it came to me, I started learning about network administration and IT. I went to school. It was for about 10 months or so. I started around October 2018, right? And I asked like my teachers for advice too. I looked into even forums on Reddit, things like that, just to see what is the right certification to get, where I should start, and everything like that. And what my teacher mentioned was actually get your A plus, since A plus is foundational and it's the start, right? But he did not say go for Network Plus or go for Security Plus. He said go for your CCNA and then go for your MCSA. At that time, MCSA was still up and going, but nowadays it's actually a retired exam. So there's no MCSA certifications, just to keep in mind. Aside from that, though, basically after that, what happened was this. So He said, you want to focus either on CCNA and go deeper into that route. If you want to go more into routing and switching, go for your CCNP, CCIE at some point, right? Or if you want to deal with more of like Windows Server and system side of things, then go for your MCSA and then build towards getting your MCSE, right? So now, after I heard that, I thought to myself, okay, I never questioned the advice. I never questioned anything because I didn't know any better and I was really unaware. And I was just someone that was new and naive. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. So around May 2019, I actually went for my A plus. It was 2 exams. So the first exam was around like the beginning to middle of May. I went for it, and I was shocked because I saw labs. And when I studied and went through things for the content of those exams, no labs. So I was caught off guard with that, but I was still able to go through it, and I passed. And it also included like multiple choice, multiple response, and drag and drop as well too, just like a typical IT certification exam. And then I took a 2 week gap to prepare for the second one. Went through that, passed it. After that, I was so excited because I thought, okay, I got my A plus. I'm going to get a great position. And I started applying for jobs and everything like that for about a month. And I was able to get 2 interview opportunities. And the types of jobs that they were like very basic. And I actually ended up getting an interview with both I said, and I got one. So I got an offer and I got it and I accepted at that time because I didn't have anything and I thought, you know what, it's better than nothing, right? And based on that, it was in a warehouse and the work was very basic, a lot more on the end user things and devices. So that's computers, laptops, things like Windows, like images is gonna be deployed on the computers as well too. And also to add to that, like just being around servers and things like that too. So it was pretty amazing with the deployment stuff. But outside of that, everything else seemed like tedious and it was just I got bored at some point, of course, right? And it was just the same thing every single day. It was from 8 to 4, Monday to Friday. So I was doing that, and then on the weekends for a couple months or so, I was going through school and learning. So that actually inspired me to keep learning and to continually educate myself. So I went for Network Plus to build more on that. I didn't feel ready for like CCNA, for example. I didn't feel like I had enough and what it takes to get that. So afterwards, I studied for about 2 months and then I went for my Network Plus and it was around July 2019. And more labs than A plus, but it wasn't a problem for me. I ended up passing, and I thought to myself, great, I got my Network Plus now. It's a network certification, so I thought I'm going to get a network type of position, the direction that I wanted to go into. And I started applying for jobs related with networking positions. And do you think I got any interviews or any calls? Well, let me tell you this, none, zero. So I knew right there, I'm like, okay, I'm not able to get something with this. Then I thought to myself, you know what? Let me learn and go for Security Plus and have an understanding more of security. Maybe that will help add some value for me to get even an interview opportunity. That's how my mindset was then. So for about a few months, I was preparing to study for Security Plus. But before I even go into Security Plus, what happened was around September, I ended up graduating. I got my diploma for network administration, and it was exciting for me. But at the same time, it was hitting me hard because I really enjoyed it. The things I learned, the things I went through over there, it helped me a lot. And I thought to myself, like, shoot, I'm really gonna miss this because of the fact that the things I've learned over there, it's so much valuable and so beneficial for me, and it's more enjoyable than what I'm doing in the job that I had at that moment. So I thought to myself, you know what? I have to make a change. I have to keep learning. I have to find a solution. So when I went through all of this, then I said, you know what? A month after that, let me go for Security Plus. I thought I was ready. And when I went through it, it felt more difficult than even my A plus and my Network Plus experience. And what happened? When I went through it, I failed. I failed by some amount of points. And when I did, it really hit me hard because this was like my first failure moment in IT, right? And I remember what my parents told me. What they told me was just, you know what, you have to keep going and keep learning and go on the next thing. Don't put more time into this one, you know? And at the end of the day, I thought to myself, you know what? I didn't want to. And I'm like, that makes sense. They're right. So let me learn the next thing. And I'm going to continue that on the next video throughout this story that I'm telling you about my experience. But what I do want to tell you and just overall break down for you the conclusion for this is that when it's all said and done and you want to start your IT career, make sure that if you want to get a great job, do not go for any CompTIA certifications. When it's all said and done, you're going to get entry level positions. And you're probably thinking, oh, okay, that may be fine since I want to be in entry and to get some starting experience and everything like that, right? But you have to think about long term and you have to see the bigger picture because at the end of the day, those types of positions, you can get really comfortable and it's going to be hard for you to even get out of it to get something better. And you're going to keep bouncing back and forth to a lot of these types of positions. And you do not want that in your IT career, especially if you see a lot more for yourself, right? And another thing is that is that definitely, pardon me, a waste of time and waste of money, you know? You're not going to get the best investment out of it. So those are things just to keep in mind. And for anybody that has looked at my first video regarding, my journey and my story overall, I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love for anybody that's subscribed, for anyone that's liked and gave comments. I appreciate that. And, let me know in the comments how you feel about this one. If you liked it, have thumbs up. And for anybody new that is watching this channel, and if you've seen this and you're interested about it too, and you want to hear more content like this, subscribe as well too. And honestly, that's all I wanted to say for today. And I just want to end it off on a good note that when it's all said and done, the purpose of this channel is to connect people through networking. And until the next video and the continuation of the story, take care. Peace.